the Michigan Department of Transportation and all state DOTs across the country really need to work together as we move forward. And one of the things that I've seen a lot, particularly through the AASHTO initiatives, is the fact that we all have to do this together. There is no one agency that can just implement any of the stuff coming forward. We're at a very interesting time for transportation infrastructure investment in the United States. Our transportation system, built largely in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, is deteriorating faster than our ability to keep up. In addition, construction and rehabilitation costs have escalated dramatically in the past 10 years. Many states are experiencing significant and severe budget shortfalls. This is a challenge, but I'm confident in our ability to work together, both state DOTs and our federal counterparts, to meet the challenges head on. These are my top 3 priorities. First, we need Congress to pass a surface transportation bill. The second one is that we need to do a better job of moving innovative ideas, products, and techniques into the mainstream more quickly. And then the third one is we need to take better care of the system that we have. And then performance measures and reporting. Every state does a lot of performance measurement already, and they do a lot of reporting. What we've said is we need to work together to figure out how do we do that best. How do we not create additional redundant systems that are running in parallel that are costing a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of time, and then requiring reports that maybe nobody ever reads. So we are stepping forward with that as a priority as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about innovation. And there's thousands of transportation innovation programs and research projects that are underway at the federal level, at the state level, at the university level, at the local level. Our challenge is, let's make sure we're not duplicating all the research. We don't need to have it redone 20, 30, or 100 times to prove the same thing. So we really, and the best way for that is to help implement some of that, and people can take that research knowledge and improve on it from there. Now, there's a couple examples of some great things that are going on. AASHTO, that Bob mentioned in the introduction, is a tremendous program built off of the first SHARP. Of course, there's NCHRP programs as well. Federal Highway has the Everyday Counts program, and then there's tons and tons of state research that is specific to a state that, frankly, from where I sit, needs to get spread around more as well. Implementing new technologies is never easy because it means change, and it means taking a very hard look at how and why we do something and asking ourselves, can't we do that better? And I have the great honor of working with Governor Rick Snyder, who's a tremendous advocate for infrastructure and understands how infrastructure and the economy are tied together. So caring for the system is extremely important, especially as I started out at the beginning. We have the system that is deteriorating, and it's across the country. So just imagine if my numbers are saying it's $1 billion a year in Michigan, multiply it across the country. What's that number across the country for disinvesting in our future? There's a lot of people that are saying we don't want to push this financial burden off to our future generation. But what about the infrastructure deficit? We're pushing a huge deficit off to the next generation that we need to take care of now. Now, I want to talk for just the last couple of minutes here about collaborating and collaborating for change. I already talked a little bit about Everyday Counts, and I think that is a tremendous collaborative approach that we can build on as we move forward with SHARP-2. I think you've got states engaged, you've got the federal agencies engaged about how do we move this faster. We've had a rough decade in the last 10 years, obviously last decade. Anybody reading the papers? It was a pretty dark time a couple of years ago. But I can tell you, thanks to leadership from Governor Snyder and his focus on reinventing Michigan, reinventing what we do, it's changed significantly. Just last year, they completely revamped the whole business structure and the tax structure. We're on track now, I was telling Bob at lunch, to have our budget signed 4 months ahead of the fiscal year for the second year in a row with no gimmicks, structural balance, and we're moving forward. This last January, Michigan was noted as the second fastest growing economy in the United States.